without further ado, let's get team. Let's do Team Finland first because I feel like that's going to be a little bit of an easier one to build, and they get thin real quick here. I would assume we're going to start with Sebastian Aho and Rupe Hintz as your top two centers. I like to kind of build middle down, so we're okay with Aho and Rupe Hintz here.
That makes. I mean, it's unfortunate that Barkov's not there because it would have been Barkov, Aho, Rins, and that is like that's a deep center group if you want to talk about one. But Sebastian Aho, Rupe Hintz down the middle. Something wrong with that.
Now, are we keeping Rantanen with his buddy Hintz, or are we playing him with Aho on the top line on the right side?
Ideally, he probably plays on with Aho, but considering now he's a Dallas Star, the connection with Rupe Hintz, these are short tournaments, so you don't have time to start trying to build that connection, right? And kind of that synergy. It's not, they played together at the Four Nations, right? Aho and Rantanen, so it's not an impossible task.
But like you said, like last year was a like put together at the trade deadline, you're still building chemistry. Now you've had a whole camp. By then you're going to have more than half of an NHL season in the bag. But yeah, I think it went to me with the Olympics, like the top two lines, it's not really if you're a good team, there's no line one, line two. It's just your top two lines, and you're just trying to find the best combination amongst those six. So yeah, I think Hintz and Rantanen stay together. That's what I would do.
I would do the same thing.
All right. So far we're off to an easy start here. Let's get I got a little list here, and I'm taking players off as we add them. Sad to take Barkov off the list, but there he goes nonetheless. All right. So who do we want to have on Aho's left or right side? Are we talking like well, why don't we finish the Rupe Hintz Rantanen line? Do we want to reunite Granlund, who played with them in Dallas down the stretch last year, Capo Kakko, Arturi Lehkonen? So who do we think there? Teuvo Teravainen?
I mean, I probably Teuvo Teravainen is the guy who's going to get the look. I think the Swiss Army knife here is Mikael Granlund, because he could play the center, he could play center, he could play wing. Like, to me, I feel like you could play Anton Lundell down the middle, right? And I mean,
yeah, you could put
you know what I mean? You could put Lundell there. You probably move. Yeah, I wouldn't have Granlund playing center just because of how flexible he is. Then you have Eric Hall as like your fourth center. That's pretty fine. I would put Arturi Lehkonen with Sebastian Aho just because Aho's line is going to have to command that tough outing every night. They're going to have to be the line that goes out there and probably has to play the best matchups. And, Arturi Lehkonen is more than capable of doing it. He's going to, he's going to the net. He's going to make the best of his opportunities. He's a player who can, create offense. And then, yes, if you put Granlund on that top line, it's you know what I mean? He's the guy who you can fluctuate. If you want to put Rantanen on that top line, he did play with Arturi Lehkonen, so there's some familiarity there as well for him. If you're looking for that kind of like that offensive boost, maybe you want Hintz and Turbo to play against others lines, try to match them down. This lineup is very flexible. So, but I would have no problem playing Granlund on that top line.
I think next we do Eetu Luostarinen here. If we're going to talk about keeping guys that are familiar with each other, obviously Panthers teammates, kind of plays that role anyway there for the Panthers. So go Ryan. All right. So we still got to fill out two right wing spots and a left wing spot here.
I would put Patrick Laine on that right wing. I mean, he can't play on a fourth line role, and I don't think he is a 13th forward kind of thing, because this team needs some scoring, and Laine can do it on the power play. That's probably where he's going to set
be
up.
Back in time, though, is the big thing, though.
We'll find out at that rate, right? But even if you want to ease him into it, shelter the minutes, don't get him caught out there having to play defense, you can run him around there with two very good Panther forwards who can facilitate the puck. Luostarinen and Lundell don't get the love that they deserve because Florida is stacked everywhere else. That's why.
So I'm going to put him, italicize him if he's healthy and ready to go, because again, when it's to play for your country, he's going to try his best to be out there and do it. And the timeline lines up that he could pull it off. So we'll put him on there. So there we go. So now we got to build out the rest of this fourth line here. Talking Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Capo Kako, Eli Tolvanen, Joel Armia. Those are kind of your candidates here to round out these last 2 spots.
Joel Armia is kind of like a lock there. He's going to kill penalties. He is very good at what he does now. He can provide you with some of that offense. It's not much, but you bring him there to be able to kill penalties, play that well. I would probably have, if he's healthy, Capo Kako on that fourth line. Like if he does play, maybe he doesn't play regularly for Finland, but that's probably where I would hold it. I wouldn't have a problem switching him out with somebody like Tolvanen at that point. They're kind of the same player at this point.
All right, so I'll put, again, if healthy, I'll italicize him. And then, so I guess that leaves us with, again, and if these guys are healthy, we'll give Eli Tolvanen, I guess Kotkaniemi if he's healthy.
I mean, Kotkaniemi can barely break the Carolina Hurricanes center core group, so I don't know what more he could do here.
All right, so now let's go to the blue line here. So Miro Heiskanen, obviously going to be first guy up there. Asa Lindell is hurt right now, so I don't know who we're going to be putting on that top pairing with him. But
I mean, ideally, you want Esa Lindell to play next to him just because of that familiarity, right? It kind of makes it, but the injury is there. Probably Mikkola then at that point. Mikkola is a good, like this back end for Finland is not going to be sexy, but they are going to be effective. They are going to be real tough to play against. And listen, myself included, at the Four Nations, we didn't give them enough love. And then they reminded us that they are a very good hockey nation. But like defensively, they are going to be tough to play against. And if you have Heiskanen and someone like Lindell, and you get like
he's been back.
He's been back. And then you have Henry Jokiharju and let's say someone like Mikkola there on that second pairing. That is like, those are big boys. That is a tough matchup. And like Heiskanen was not there for the Four Nations either. So this makes them a much better team defensively.
I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw Mikkola on the second pairing because I think the second D pairing, because that's pretty much where he plays for Florida, and he's exactly the kind of defenseman they're gonna need to kind of get through the plays on the left side. So there. And who do we want? You want to put Jokiharju with him?
I'd probably put
I'd
probably put Jokiharju with him. He can keep up and play just as many minutes as Mikkola can. So that's not it's not a downgrade at that point.
And then that last pairing, Otta Ristolainen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Otta Ristolainen, kind of get them out there a little bit. You don't want them to get caught.
Yeah, that's that third pairing very much going to be like like you said, it's trying to spare the minutes for the other one.
You're rolling those two first pairing units a lot. Look for Heiskanen to play upwards of 26 minutes a night. Same thing for Lindell, Mikkola, and Jokiharju. They're going to go out there and, give it their all.
And don't forget, Ristolainen hurt right now, but should be back in time. And we said we're going to all right, so not the best, the goaltenders here. We can evaluate the roster in a second. We're looking at UC Saros, Kevin Lankinen, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Who would you start amongst those?
I would probably have to start Saros. I know it's not great, but I mean, UPL hasn't been any better. And Kevin Lankinen is just not like he's not good enough. He's just not good enough to play.
Pekka.
You're getting very good at spelling Finnish names.
Real quickly here, and then so I guess he would count as one of the extras there, and then the extra defenseman you'd carry Euro Vaakainen, Juuso Välimäki. I mean, yeah,
whichever one's healthy.
Yeah, there you go.